is Sunil, and I've been brought up in Bangalore. Did a bit of my education in the US, worked there for a couple of years, and then I moved back to India in Bangalore. So from my childhood, I was kind of, interested in studies and also in sports, but I was never this person who would be, the first in class or anything like that. Maybe somewhere in the top 10%, but yeah, doing decently well, and not on top, but in terms of sports was doing much better. That continued, but then during my 11th and 12th, I think maybe more of education, and then that led me into joining a pretty good college. I studied computer science at PESET in Bangalore, and then worked for a couple of years after my engineering in a company in Bangalore called ETM Systems. Then went on to do my grad school at North Carolina State University, specializing mostly in machine learning, and that led me to pick up a full-time job at IBM Watson. Sorry, an internship at IBM Watson, which then turned out to a full-time role at IBM Research. Again, working on a lot of ML problems, mostly in the field of conversational AI. That was for a couple of years, and then I decided to move back to India. And once I moved back, I had a job in Bangalore at the startup called Nikki.ai, where I'd interned during my grad school for a few months. And then, so I was working as a principal architect for dialogue and natural language processing. Again, in the field of conversational AI. So a lot of chatbots, a lot of voice assistants in that space. And I worked there for a few months, 5 months or so. In the meanwhile, I had my own plans of setting up a consulting firm, and also did a coding bootcamp for a few months. I'd say we taught approximately 300 or so students in a span of 5 to 6 months. Then I stopped that to concentrate full-time on consulting firm. So I'm currently the founder and CEO of Zignite Labs, where we help a lot of startups and medium to large enterprises with their machine learning related projects, and also productionizing them, building applications around them, things like that. The main goal of the coding bootcamp was to get students who have completed their undergrad or are currently doing their undergrad, and teach them programming hands-on. Not a lot of theory while they're coding things on their own laptops. We covered mostly web development in Python and machine learning in Python. Our belief was you need to have some application sense also, even if you're doing machine learning, because that helps you understand eventually how your machine learning models will end up being used. So with this idea, the bootcamp covered both aspects. Each batch in the bootcamp typically had like 15 students. This was a weekend-only bootcamp to help people who are working currently and also are at doing their undergrad. Yeah, we also had a weekday course that was conducted in the campus of an engineering college in Bangalore, RNSIT. That went on for a month. That was part of the internship program, and this actually helped me hire the first few employees at my new firm, Zignite Labs, where I got to spend a good amount of time with these people who would eventually go on to join my company. The major challenges were mostly, figuring out digital marketing, because we did it ourselves, putting up those ad posts, designing, the ads and whatnot, and setting up the sales pipeline, the whole part where you have leads, you qualify them, you you have to send out tests to them. Once they qualify, and then you start having conversation on the actual aspects of the boot camp, and then comes the logistics of setting up an environment where you can conduct this boot camp with all of these projectors and whatnot. Yeah, I would say that was not very challenging, but something new for me, apart from the typical programming and technical stuff. This was also technical, but not in the sense that I had experience. I've always wanted to start a business of my own, and this has been true since I was maybe 15 years or so. Right when I was in high school, doing my 11th and 12th. Ever since then, I wanted to set up my own business. But then I did not think I would be setting up a business in technology. I was mostly thinking of traditional businesses like construction and whatnot. Funny enough, I do have a construction business as well, which I set up a couple of years back, and we are into residential construction. But let's leave that aside for this call, maybe. The other two businesses being the coding bootcamp, which I'm not part of right now, and the consulting firm. Both of these businesses are not capital intensive. So there was never a need of me pumping money into this. It was more of pumping my skills and time into this. The more time you put into it and the more knowledgeable you are, you can make more of it. And then the other aspect is you'll have to build a team to be able to execute anything large, because as an individual, there's only a limited thing that you can achieve. So good amount of people skills as well, the ability to understand what someone needs. Can you give it to them? Do they have what I need? You should be able to ask these questions to yourself and find out the answers, because no one's going to tell you that. You'll have to have some conversations and figure it out for yourself. And then you also have this aspect where now you're in a customer facing, and both of these businesses are customer facing. So again, a lot of soft skills, a lot of conversations, but then you also need to be technically super strong, because people are coming to you to solve their technical problems. So having a very strong hold on the technical aspects is an important skill in this line of work. So my weekday typically starts with me checking my emails and messages from a bunch of clients who are spread out in all parts of the world. And if there's anything super critical, we'll have to act on it pretty soon, get the right team member involved and all that. After the first half an hour of doing all of that, it's the regular thing that people do. Once that's done, my work typically starts around 11:30 in the morning, and the team works on their own for the first couple of hours, and then we have a stand-up where we discuss our plan and the kind of challenges that we're facing with our work, and how our previous day was in terms of what we got done and things like that. A typical stand-up call. And then the next few hours I get to do my work and also help my team if they're stuck anywhere. The later part of the day, after 6 p.m. or so, is mostly dedicated to clients, because that's when people in the US slowly start waking up from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. In the next 3 hours, people start waking up, and then some conversations up until maybe 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then a few messages here and there. So in my field of work, at least with our client base, typically work starts when I wake up and ends when I go to bed. But then in the early stages of the day and in the later stages of the day, I'm not really in front of my laptop, but mostly having some conversations over emails and messages on my phone. But the major part of the day is sitting down and working with my team. So my advice to students in this, during the pandemic, is mainly to stay calm. Everyone is facing a tough time. Most of them, I would say, are facing a tough time, and this is not something that happens more than once in someone's lifetime. Hopefully not. So we'll have to give it its respect and stay calm. Meanwhile, something good that you can do is pick up a couple of skills that you think might help you in the next 5 to 10 years. For example, if you're in the field of computer science, pick up either something like web development or mobile app development or machine learning or whatnot. I'm just saying these 3 things because these are typically the 3 things that I work on. There are many more things that exist out there, so I wouldn't restrict to just these 3. Basically, find out those 1 or 2 skills by talking to someone in your field, maybe your professors, and I would recommend spending a good few hours every day to pick them up, because it's hard that you would find the kind of free time you have now again, because once you start working, the situation will change. You wouldn't have so much time to learn new things. You will learn new things, but that's mostly on the job. So yeah, that's my advice for students during the times of pandemic. Something that I value in life in general is, irrespective of what field you're in, you're running your own business, you're working in another company, not doing anything. Either way, some things that I value most are the sense of ownership that someone takes up, no matter what they're doing, and how dedicated they are towards it. There are different types of people. Some people, you have to tell them what needs to be done, and you have to keep tracking if it's done. And the other type of people where you just have to tell them what needs to be done, and then you don't have to track them. And then there's a third type of people where you don't have to tell them what needs to be done. They'll find out what needs to be done and also do it. People of the third category are valued way higher than people of the other 2 categories. So this is mostly really how you look at things, right? It's hard. This has to come from the inside. It has to come from the inside, where you are constantly looking at what can be done to improve anything in your life, or going ahead and doing it without someone having to come and tell you what needs to be done and keep asking you if it's done, when will it be done, and all of those things. So that's my general advice, or rather than advice, that's something I value personally. So during COVID, during the last I'd say 4 months or so now, I have learned to be content doing less of what I would define as fun, because there is just no opportunity to do it anymore. And then also having the, basically learned how to work with your team remotely. That is, I would say, a skill that, you have to learn by doing so. And some people pick it up faster, some people take more time doing it. Also it's made me more resilient in handling situations that were not expected. Basically, made me understand that you need to stay calm, observe how things are changing, and to act accordingly. This is what I'd say, because until then things were coasting along pretty well. During COVID, there was a small blip, not major for us at least, luckily, because of the business we're in. But yeah, there was a blip, and it taught me how to observe things and change strategies when required and keep moving on. So yeah, Zignite Labs is now 2 years old, a little more than 2 years old. We recently celebrated our 2nd year anniversary. So we've recently launched one of our products. It's called Foodoo. That's you can call that an operating system for restaurants, resorts, and other F&B setup. We started this project before COVID happened, but given the COVID situation, the timing couldn't have been better for that product. But it also means that there is way more competition now than there was before, because of when COVID happened, a lot of companies realized the need for something like this, and have also started working on it. So the product basically helps customers. I'm sure all of us have faced this issue where on Fridays and Saturdays it's hard for us to get the attention of a waiter to give us the menu, to place our order and whatnot. We just end up raising our hands and our voices and whatnot. So this basically, helps you view the menu at any restaurant. You just have to scan the QR code. You'll see the menu on your phone. You can also place the order right from there. The restaurant receives a notification, and you can make payment from within your phone. So it basically reduces the number of contact points, which is going to help people stay safe from COVID. That's one of the products we have launched. It's currently operational in 3 restaurants. So as we move along in the next 3 years, we would like to see that in hundreds of setups in India and across.